Hi traders, welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, 𝖢𝖥𝖣yi, Senior Market Analyst. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the price of cable. We're going to be looking at some of those key levels. Prices at a really interesting spot at the moment. So looking at cable here, looking to see what could potentially happen. Now, in terms of fundamental data coming out this week for pound versus the US dollar, we don't have too much. We do have some CPI data year on year coming out, forecast suggesting that we're going to see a drop from that 7.9% down to 6.7%, which would be fairly positive in terms of the inflation situation in the UK. 6.7 still very high though, and the Bank of England are probably going to have to still act on that. In terms of US data this week, we have core retail sales data, as well as the FOMC meeting minutes. So dollar could be fairly volatile going into this week, especially with those retail sales coming up. Retail sales are looking to come in a little bit higher, so we could see a bit of dollar strength off the back of that. A miss there, however, could see a little bit of downside pressure. Now, I like cable where it is because it gives us options. I think if we're looking at it from a bullish perspective, you can say, well, we're at a real key area of support now. We're back down at this one spot 26.50 handle. This is an area where we found support in the past, most recently back at the end of June, where price then rallied into and above the 1 spot 3 handle up towards the 1 spot 3.1. We've then kind of made our way down for the past few weeks. We've been bearish the past kind of 4 weeks here, and now we're back at that critical level, that 1 spot 26.50. So the market's got to make a decision here now. Are we going to hold at this level? Are we going to start to rally again in line with this kind of overall upward trend that we're seeing? Or is this now the time that we break through 1 spot 26.50 and we head towards the previous lows at 1 spot 23.50? I think this is a real nice area to look at. Now, if we go into a lower time frame, there are some signs pointing more towards the bullish side of things. First of all, you can see on this daily that I've got a sort of bullish channel being worked in here. You've got the market making those key lower highs followed by those lower lows. What I did was I placed a trend line from this high in here, projected it onto this high of this bearish engulfing candle. That extended out, and then we actually had this touch in here. I then copied it down to the recent low that formed, and that projected out through there. So that's how I've come to the conclusion that the market is in this sort of bearish channel. If we take a look at it from trend point of view, obviously the weekly is in that bullish trend. So typically what we like to look for is price coming back into support and maybe finding some kind of change in trend on a lower time frame. So what that would look like is on a lower time frame is a sort of higher high, higher low pattern. It would also look like a bit of a double bottom and things like that. Now on the daily, you could argue we're potentially seeing a double bottom pattern here. We've tested previous lows. We're currently rejecting it. Could that be a sign of price to move to the upside? Potentially from a technical perspective. If we go into the 4-hour time frame, you can see here very strong bullish reaction coming in down at this level here. Nice little area to note as well. It was a consolidation where we're finding that support from. Usually that is some kind of institutional influence there with a large move to the upside. So are we getting institutional players again coming back into the market? Now, obviously, the ideal situation would be price to break through key areas of resistance. So the trend line in here would be a nice key area of resistance for price to trade through. I also like the idea of waiting for our sort of averages to line up as well. Now, what I like to do is look at the weekly, look at what kind of phase we're in, and then look at the 4-hour for opportunities. Now, this might be a little bit of an early move. So if I was to actually bring in my moving averages that we use, so we're bringing the 200, and we're going to bring in the RSI indicator, and I'm going to bring in another moving average, which is a 50 moving average. And what we typically like to see is price following that sort of longer term trend. So there's a move through here where you can see we cross over the 20 and the 50. 20 and 50 and 200, sorry, and we see that nice bullish trend coming from that. We've crossed over here, so it's suggesting that we should be more on the short side, and that's because the weekly is in that sort of retracement phase. Ideally, we want to wait to see how price ends at the end of the week, because if we get a bullish week here, what it could suggest is that we get a crossover again of the sort of slow moving average over the the fast moving average, crossing the slow moving average. That will then give us the opportunity to see if we can get a bit of a climb to the upside there. If you want to see a bit more of an aggressive move, what we can do is just turn that 200 into a 20. What that does then, it makes the fast EMA the 20 instead of the 50, and the slow one then becomes the 50 moving average. You can see we get the crossovers a lot earlier. Basically just gives you more sort of opportunities to look at price. At the moment it's still technically bearish, but what we can wait for here is if price does form that double bottom pattern and we break out there again, do we get the 20 crossing the 50 moving average? Does that then give us opportunities to see price move higher? The alternative, a break below this consolidation, a move into this rejection zone, a break below. If the dollar continues to strengthen, that is, we could see price trade through that consolidation period there, break through the 1 spot 25.90 and continue to move to the downside. Support could be held at this bearish channel support, but ultimately we could see the market trade all the way back to the 1 spot 23.50. So that's something to consider here. I just like where pound is at on a technical level at the moment, so that's why I thought I'd bring it to your attention. We'll see if the fundamentals drive it either way. I am favouring a little bit more upside here. If we just go and flick over quickly to the US dollar index, we are testing 103s at the moment, and the 103 last time was a big area of influence on the dollar index, and we saw price move all the way down into the 99 spot 50s. So again, kind of looking at this and saying to myself, while we're at resistance at the moment for the dollar, we may get a bit of a pullback in the US dollar. Could that provide us with a bit of a long here on cable? Think about that. I hope you enjoyed the video update. If you did, leave it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel to see some more Forex trading content, and I'll catch you in the next video.